Hello and welcome. My name's Kara Showers and I work for the Town of Wakefield and the City of Melrose Health Department. I coordinate the Mass in Motion Melrose Wakefield grant, which is a grant from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to work on healthy eating and active living in our communities. Thank you for tuning in today. We have two lovely ladies joining us. The first is Carrie Mensch and Julia Quattrini, both from Whole Foods Market Melrose. So welcome back, Carrie.
Thank you.
And welcome, Julia.
Thank you.
So what do you do at Whole Foods Market Melrose, Carrie?
Well, it's great to be back, Kara, and thank you for inviting us back again.
Of course.
I am the marketing team leader at Whole Foods Market Melrose, and I get to work very closely with the community. I'm basically the community liaison. I get to have a lot of fun too.
Great. And how about you, Julia? What do you do at the store?
Well, I'm the healthy eating specialist at Whole Foods Market Melrose. So I'm there as a resource for customers who are looking to eat a healthier diet, learn more about healthy foods. Especially at Whole Foods, we like to promote the 4 pillars of healthy eating. We have whole food, not as in the store, but as in eat whole, like foods in their whole form.
Okay.
Healthy fats, meaning get your fats from things like nuts and seeds and avocados instead of like butter or oil. And we have nutrient dense, meaning try to eat a diet with a lot of nutrients in there and a little less calories. And the last pillar is plant strong, meaning try to make half your plate, if not more, plant products.
Awesome.
Great. I remember last time, Carrie, we were on TV together, we talked about the 4 pillars, and at that time, Whole Foods Market Melrose had just opened up. I think
Yes.
you guys had only been open for a month, and the Linfield store was about to open.
Exactly.
So it's been a little while, but I'm so excited to have you guys here today and to delve more into healthy eating and how do we do it. I think from my work and experience, it's been obvious that people know they're supposed to be eating healthier, but actually knowing that and then changing behavior and doing it as a part of your daily life are 2 very different things.
Definitely.
So I'm thrilled to have you back and excited that we're going to be able to delve into some demonstrations and help people use recipes to incorporate more vegetables into their diet. So it's going to be a fun show. Awesome. So welcome.
Thank you.
I wanted to just update our viewers on a few of the things that we've been working on in the community with our healthy eating or eat better arm of the Mass in Motion program. We in Melrose and Wakefield are 2 of 52 communities that are actually working on healthy eating and active living. And in the healthy eating realm, we've been working very hard on our healthy dining program and healthy corner store program.
Awesome.
So a little bit different than the 4 pillars. We are really trying to get the menus that a customer sees when they go to our wonderful local eateries. We want those menus to scream to the customer to get more fruits, vegetables and fiber in their diet.
Awesome.
So, if there's a multi-grain bagel that's available at your favorite sandwich place, but it's not on the menu, it just says bagel, most people will just say, I'll have a bagel, and they'll get a plain bagel. Right. So we want it to be obvious to our families that you can order these items, they're available, they're easy to get, same with the fruit and vegetables. So we've been able to get a lot of our local eateries on board, so we're thrilled, and working more and more with corner stores to get bananas and waters and green peppers and things that we want people to be able to buy and eat more often. we're getting those into our
I've been
stores.
noticing them too.
Oh,
so
you have?
Good job.
Good. So, again, hats off to community partners like you that have been so supportive. And, of course, our small businesses, they've been phenomenal with, trying to improve the health of the community in these ways. So that's what we've been doing in the community, a little snippet. And how about you guys? You guys are always out there in, Melrose, Wakefield, all of our surrounding towns. What are thing or two that you've been working on?
We've been having so much fun since we opened, and we've really jumped right in. We've met some great people. We love working in the Melrose and surrounding communities. And we've really been working very closely with our local food pantries and trying to support them right off the bat as much as we can.
Great.
And we've had great support from the community members and actually helping to donate food or donate money to the food pantries, and it's been a great partnership. We've worked with a Servant's Heart food pantry, a Pantry of Hope, both right in Melrose,
Yes.
and then also really great donation to Bread of Life in Malden.
Yeah.
They reach out to many surrounding communities, so they really are able to work with a wide range of people and support them with food. So we love working with Bread of Life. And we've had some fun over this past holiday season. We worked with a Stone Zoo, and we were able to donate some lights for zoo lights. So that was a really fun project that we worked on as well.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So you guys are really finding your footing in the community.
We are.
And it's been lovely to have you out there and in here. So I'm thrilled that today, as I alluded to, we're going to be doing more food demonstrations. So I think, people are in the grocery store and they see a bunch of greens and they're like, I know those are healthy, but I have no idea what to do with them, so I'm going to keep walking that way.
That's what Julia's for.
Exactly.
And really all of us at Whole Foods Market, we love to give those tips and help customers decide how to eat healthier and eat better.
Yeah, you shouldn't be running the other way from the pile of greens. Let's get you in there,
Definitely.
So that's what we'll be doing. We'll be back to showcase a few lovely recipes, ways to get veggies, on our dinner plates and into our kids in yummy ways. So, we'll be back at the demo table in just a moment. And here we are at the demonstration table, back with Julia and Carrie from Whole Foods Market Melrose. So now's the fun part. We're getting into taking our vegetables and making them into something really yummy to eat. So, Julia, we're going to start with the raw kale salad.
Yes, we are.
And you're going to walk us through, after we buy this bunch of intimidating kale, what do we do with her?
All right, so today we're making a raw kale salad, and we're also making a warm kale salad with butternut squash, but we'll start with the raw one. So we're using curly kale today. There are two different types of kale that you usually find in your grocery stores. This is a curly, and we have dinosaur kale or lacinato kale is the other type. It's darker, smoother. The leaf is a little thicker. This kale is good to use if you're juicing, or if you're making something like a soup and you're chopping it up in really thin strips. Otherwise, this kale is the best one for salads.
Nice.
Because it's a little milder in flavor. The leaves are a little thinner. This one is also really good for making kale chips that everybody loves so much.
Yeah.
Quick interruption question. Baby kale, that's another thing I've seen in the store. Is that good for either cooking or raw?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I mean, when it comes to leafy greens, it really all depends on your personal taste. Okay. If you can't stand regular kale, I would say try baby kale. It is milder, again, with the smaller leaves.
And if you've never had kale before, you could kind of start with a, half baby spinach, half baby kale. We talked about that last time. Go halvesies. Don't try to start only eating kale. That's not going to work.
Baby kale is definitely more convenient because you don't have to go through the process that Julia is doing right now, which is taking the stem out. It's just all very tender and good to throw right into a salad. And I throw them in soups too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. So the first thing you always do when you buy kale in bunches is to wash it. I had already washed mine before I got here, so then you need to take out the stems. These don't taste good. You can't really digest them, so you just get rid of them.
And I even throw mine in a bucket of water after I pull it off the stem to kind of and then spin it.
Oh
That's-
yeah,
yes,
I
yeah.
know
If
if-
you want to wash it before or
Definitely.
after,
Doesn't matter.
as
Yeah.
long as you wash it before you eat it.
Right.
And then next, we're just going to roughly chop the kale so that it's nice bite-sized pieces for a salad. All right, so we'll throw this in the bowl.
Awesome. Here, let me give that to you.
Thank you.
Go
And
dry
we already
it.
have a little bit of kale in here. We prepared it for you.
Well, that was pretty easy.
It was really easy.
Yeah.
So the next step in this salad, we're gonna make a dressing. So we're using avocados, lemon, and some red pepper flakes, and just a touch of salt.
So no oil.
No oil.
Very
No.
cool.
But it's still gonna taste like a nice dressing because there's a lot of fat in the avocados, but it's healthy fats. So if you've never cut an avocado before, all you do is you hold it lengthwise and you put your knife in, just remember to be careful, and you rotate the avocado around the seed. There's a pit in there until you get back through. Then it comes right apart. Got two
Gorgeous.
halves, the half with the seed. Just step the knife in there a little bit and twist, and it comes right out.
Awesome.
All right, so we are just gonna squeeze this avocado right out of its shell into the salad. Nice
Great.
and
Oh,
easy.
so you do this right in on top of
Yeah.
the kale. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was thinking we would use a different bowl. And okay. Wow, this looks really good.
All right, and after that, we just need the juice of half a lemon.
Awesome.
So
And sorry, Julia. The avocado, when it's black on the outside, is ready to be used. Is that kind of the general rule?
Yeah, usually the darker it is, the more ripe it is, but what you really need to do is feel it.
Okay.
So when it's nice and soft,
Where that stem is on the top there.
yeah, or even just around.
Okay.
If
Look
it's
for a little give to it.
a little give,
Yeah.
yeah. If you have too much give, it might be bad, but that's like when you're holding it and it mushes into your hand. That's when you know it's bad.
And one thing I like to do if I buy an avocado and maybe I forgot to check to see if it was ripe, then and it's not ripe, just put it in a paper bag and you can let it sit overnight and it'll be much riper the
Yeah,
next
it's
day.
perfect.
Yeah, the gases kind of work in there. I know it's kind of cool. The
Exactly.
paper bag.
It is good. I love
Yeah.
that trick.
I know.
And the
Ooh.
spices I just put in were the pepper flakes and a little bit of salt.
Nice.
And now I'm going to massage the kale.
Get messy.
Get messy. So
This is a good thing for kids to do, right?
Yeah. And it's a really good technique for when you're making raw kale salads. Massaging the leaves, it actually breaks down the fibers a little bit and it makes it more palatable. And when you use something citrusy like a lemon in our case, it helps that break down even further.
Awesome. What if you didn't have a lemon?
Anything else that's acidic, yeah.
So a
You could
lime
use
or
a lime,
Yep.
That would be good.
some vinegar. If you have balsamic vinegar. All right.
Look, you're getting a hand workout.
I am. Now that's all coated. I'm going to take off my gloves because they're really messy.
Yeah. That looks
And-
great though.
Yeah. Now we just have the rest of our ingredients. Half of a red bell pepper.
Okay.
And we have 1 carrot that's grated.
It's getting colorful.
It is getting colorful. And we have a 15-ounce can of mandarin oranges just with the juice drained out. And we have half of a red onion.
And if you don't have some of these ingredients, you can kind of substitute other
Yeah.
things. Like even I was thinking, I don't have mandarin oranges at home, but I know I have pineapple chunks in 100% pineapple juice. You kind of drain that and then
That would be
throw those
perfect.
babies in.
Yeah, this is just a selection of veggies that I really like in salad, but
Yeah.
whatever your favorite ones are, anything will go.
And I like that it's sweet and savory, so that opens up the possibilities even greater on what
Yeah.
you have on hand in your refrigerator.
Yes.
All right.
Good point.
So there's the salad,
Looks really
final
good.
product.
So we
Yummy.
don't get to taste this right now because we want to do kind of the kale 2 ways, and then we'll get to sample at the end, right?
Yeah.
The more
Okay.
time this sits, the more the lemon can penetrate the kale. That's
Which
great.
is great too, because the next day for leftovers for lunch, it's even tastier, which usually with salads and regular salad greens, sort of
You're
the
right.
opposite is true. So this is really nice to realize that, massaging it and letting it sit actually enhances, what you're eating. So, so yay. All right, now we have the cooktop on, so I should
We
probably
do.
back up. Okay.
Do you want to man this for me?
Sure.
It's gonna have
Tell
to
me
be
what
for
to
a little
do.
bit. All right. We're going to steam the kale
Okay.
first. So I have another bowl of the
got it.
kale over here. We just prepared it the same way, chopped it up, de-stemmed it. And we're gonna put it in this pan. You can use a pot, or if you have a high-sided pan like we do, that works as well. Over the stove on medium heat. And about a 1/4 cup of vegetable broth. Low sodium vegetable broth, be sure, because lots of sodium can hide in canned soups and things, so you want to always look for low sodium.
Yeah, because then you could always season a little more yourself, depending
Exactly,
on...
yeah.
Okay.
So we're just gonna let this sit, and we're gonna cover it. And the kale should steam just so that it's a little bit wilty, but not too mushy, so it'll be perfect for our salad.
Okay.
Awesome.
And while that's going, and Kara's keeping an eye on it,
Yes, I'm all over that.
we're gonna go to the squash portion of the kale and squash salad. So what we have here in our display are a couple different types of winter squashes.
Yes.
This one is an acorn squash.
Yep.
Yep, so this one is one of the smaller squashes, pretty easy to work with. Actually, we'll
want it?
take this one right here.
Okay.
When you have any winter squash and you want to bake it, the first thing to remember is when you cut it, you want to make sure you're cutting on flat surfaces. So in order to cut this open, I'm going to chop off the bottom first so that it can stand and it's stable. That way when I go to use my force to cut through it,
It isn't wobbling
it isn't
everywhere.
wobbling everywhere,
That's really
so
dangerous.
it won't make
yeah.
a mistake.
Okay.
And we just cut it open lengthwise.
That's a good rule of thumb for many vegetables too, because I think that can be a scary thing when you're using a knife. And I see that you have the chef's knife
I
for
do.
this purpose,
Yep.
which is important compared to a smaller paring
Paring
knife,
knife.
that can get a little hairy if you want to choose the right tool when you're cutting a squash, right, Julia?
Yeah,
Julia?
exactly. Yeah, the chef's knife is great. A nice sharp knife to cut through these squashes. And as you can see, the insides, there's seeds and some veins. The seeds are really great. Any winter squash, not just pumpkin seeds, they're all edible. So if you want to scoop them out and save them and toast them on a pan, if you just put them in the oven for about 10 minutes until they're golden brown, they're a great snack.
Awesome.
Or a topper for our raw kale
Or
salad.
a topper for a raw kale
There
salad.
we go.
Oh yeah. I can think on my feet.
And for cooking this squash or any other winter squash in the oven, a really, really easy way to do it is to just cut them lengthwise like this and take a baking sheet or a shallow pan, put in a little bit of water, and put it in your oven. 350 degrees, 400 degrees. Just let it bake. It'll usually take about an hour, depending on the size of the squash, until it is soft and you can pierce it with a fork. And then it's done.
Easy.
Or you can bake it flesh side up and stuff things
Ooh,
into where you scooped it out.
that sounds
All
amazing.
great ideas.
Very
All right.
good ideas.
So-
And that, we kind of skipped right over the fact that the price points on squash are awesome. They're so cheap. And I was saying to you guys when we were prepping for what to do for demos for the show that, I walk by this and I'm like, I usually do frozen butternut squash and throw it into different things, but it can be intimidating, which is why we're so glad you're showing us how to deal with it, because it's such a great thing to buy, a great price point.
It is,
Yeah.
and that's when you buy it as the whole vegetable. But when you're looking more at the frozen, you can still find great affordability in the frozen aisle with squash. But whenever anything is pre-cut, you're losing that. And it really is worth, oh my goodness, look at, you're cutting
Look at
through this
this.
like butter.
Yeah.
It's worth buying the whole vegetable and really taking the time to learn how to cut it. Which
So that is not
easy.
how you cut a raw butternut squash.
No.
Tell us why that was so easy.
So butternut squash are one of the larger winter squashes, and a lot of people don't buy them because they're really difficult to cut through when they're rocks. They're really hard. So a great trick to beating that is to microwave it, actually. So all I did with this squash before I got here today was I took it whole and raw from our shelves and I pierced it with a knife several times. There are lots of little lacerations in there. And then I just put it in the microwave on top of a damp paper towel for 8 minutes. And that makes it nice and soft, and that way you can cut it easily and you can also peel it very easily.
Julia, I think the greens are looking pretty good, but I want your expert opinion here. Or they want to go a little further?
Ooh, I think they're looking pretty good. Do you want to stir them a little bit?
Sure. I just used the tongs.
Perfect. I missed that.
I know. I was so quiet over here.
All right, so we're going to scoop the insides out of our butternut squash that we have microwaved to make it nice and soft and easy to work with. I have a trash can under here. So.
You're not just throwing food on the floor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, these look good.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Awesome. Would you like to
Shut it off?
shut it off? Yeah.
I can do the honors.
Awesome.
And look how beautiful and green it still is. We haven't overcooked it.
Yeah. Just cooked just enough to be soft and still have its form.
So you're taking the skin off now?
Yes.
Awesome.
Now we're taking the skin off. You can use a peeler. This is definitely soft enough if you have a vegetable peeler, but we just don't have one today, so I'm going to use my knife. And the one thing you want to remember if you are using a knife when you're peeling vegetables is to saw back and forth. Don't try to go straight down because that's when you lose a finger.
We don't want that.
No, we don't want
I
that.
don't want that.
All right.
Notice how all the segments are flat, like there's no wobbling, you know? So again, back to that rule of
Yes.
making that flat surface.
Yeah. It makes it really easy to cut up. Especially having a nice knife is always.
I have to say, Julia, that I did not know the microwave trick, and I'm definitely going to go for that next time.
Yeah.
I want to make a butternut squash soup or anything like that. That is really,
Yeah,
it's so
'cause-
easy what you're doing.
Yes.
Not intimidating at all.
No.
The biggest struggles with these are peeling it and cutting it when it's raw if you want to have something that's cubed. So this is a great way. And if you don't have a microwave at home, you can do this in the oven. It will take about an hour instead of 8 minutes, but it gets the same result if you really don't want to hack through that squash. All right, we've almost got the whole thing peeled.
Looks really yummy. Look at that color.
Yeah, gorgeous.
And for our recipe, we only need half of this butternut squash. So we're going to dice it up. And we're actually going to add it back to that pan
Okay.
and cook it a little longer.
So, Julia, since we're not using the entire squash,
Okay.
what would your suggestion be for the half that we're reserving?
Well, as a squash lover myself, one of my favorite ways to eat butternut squash is the simplest way, just roasted. I would continue to cut up the whole squash, dice it like this, and I would put it on a baking sheet and roast it in my oven.
Ooh, yeah.
It kind of caramelizes and gets nice and sweet. The outside is a little bit crunchy. It's really great. If you don't like it that way, there are lots of butternut squash soups.
Yeah.
You can find really simple recipes for those. You can puree it up in a blender, add some herbs and spices. It's delicious.
I love thyme or sage with butternut squash.
Yeah.
Such a nice combo.
And you know what else goes really well with it is raisins.
Ooh, a little sweet.
A little sweet, yeah.
Sounds really good. I know recently I took, it was a bag of the frozen butternut squash, but I incorporated in with the turkey chili I was making, and like it was so good. It kind of gave it that little bit of sweetness. I didn't have to do anything really, but I got the extra veggie in there.
For a chili, that's awesome.
It was really good. So anyway, just another little
Take
thing.
that one.
Yeah.
Do you want this back on, Julia, or are we good?
Yeah, actually, on for a couple more minutes would be perfect.
Okay.
Because the butternut squash, while it is really soft from the microwave, it's still not cooked all the way through.
Okay.
So we're going to add a little more liquid since it looks like most of it evaporated.
That's so good.
And we'll cover it.
Okay.
All right. We still have half of our squash left.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for this to be done.
I
to try it.
know.
I wanted to ask you about spaghetti squash because that's something that I feel like a little nervous about cooking, and I'm sure some of our viewers could agree with that. What is spaghetti squash? What's spaghetti about it?
Spaghetti squash is really cool, actually. My mind was blown the first time I saw one. It's about,
It seems bigger. Isn't it sometimes bigger than the butternut, or no?
it's
Not
about the
always.
same size as the butternut. It's just
Okay.
a different shape. It's like an oval, and it's yellow.
More like a football?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And you bake it the same way you do any other squash, like I said before. If you cut it in half lengthwise and put it face down on a pan in the oven with a little bit of water so that it doesn't burn, and wait till it's soft to the touch. And what's cool about spaghetti squash is when you take it out and you go to scoop out the meat, it turns into little strings and it comes out like spaghetti.
That's so awesome.
So that's why they call it that. And that squash, it doesn't really have much of a taste. It's
Yeah.
really mild, so it pairs really well with robust sauces, like a really robust spaghetti sauce, I guess, and it's almost no carbs.
So it is.
So if you're looking,
If you're gluten-free, let's
if you're
Yes.
say,
gluten-free,
And
you could
you-
use it.
love pasta or pasta sauce and want to feel like you're
Yeah.
having that meal, that's a good
Yeah.
option.
You could eat
And
it
it's healthy.
Eat it hot, tossed with anything you'd put on pasta, like red sauce or pesto, or you could put it in a cold salad, too, like a pasta salad. And you could add the spaghetti squash instead of pasta.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's
Never
pretty
tried
fun.
that, so that sounds good.
It's pretty fun. Now that should cook until the squash is soft.
Tender. Okay. There's a couple pieces that are still a little hard, but it looks pretty. It's getting there.
Yeah. It usually should go for about 5 minutes. And pardon my reach.
Oh yeah.
The last part to this recipe is a dressing that I've prepared beforehand. But what this is, it looks like diced onions, which it is. It's half of a red onion, and we also have 2 dates that are chopped up and put in here for a little bit of sweetness. Some vegetable broth and some sherry vinegar. Now all of this was put in a pan like this over the stove, and we simmered it until the onions are a little bit translucent. And that's when you know it's done. And the liquid was reduced by about half, and it makes a nice topping.
I love that you guys brought these like dressings today, because I think, and as you guys know, with prepackaged dressings that are easy to buy at the store, there's a lot of added fat and salt in those usually. So it's nice to show the viewers that there are some easy ways to make simple dressings with few ingredients in a few minutes or even
Oh, yeah.
less. So that's really great.
It's a flavor boost that you know where the flavor comes from.
Right.
And that's the best part.
It always ends up tasting fresher too
Yeah.
when you taste it.
Definitely.
So we're just gonna add the dressing, and
Great.
we're gonna stir it all up.
Awesome. Those
So,
colors are
Yeah,
beautiful.
the butternut squash paired with the vinegar and the kale kind of makes a nice sweet and savory aspect to this salad.
Oh yeah,
I put a little bit of this in here too.
Oh, yeah,
so we get a
sure.
little bit of both.
But I was thinking we could also use the leftover kale for the double green smoothie that I've been making since our
Exactly.
last show.
How's that going?
It's going awesome. Well, when I tried it here on set, it was really good. I wasn't just saying that for the camera, which I wouldn't do
Yeah.
anyway. But it was awesome, and I've been making it at home with the berries and the bananas and the dates.
Oh,
as
yeah?
the sweetener.
That's right.
And whatever greens I have, and it's been awesome just for a
And
snack.
it's easy.
Easy,
You know?
easy. So it's been really
Let
great.
me get everyone a fork
Oh,
here.
thanks.
Thank you, Carrie.
This smells really, really good.
Ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ooh,
Okay.
yum.
All right. I'm trying the cooked first.
Cooked first? Okay. I'll match you with that.
Yeah, me too.
And I think we mentioned this before, but both of these salads are also really good leftovers,
Right.
because when you let them sit overnight, it gives the flavors a chance to kind of marinate, and the leaves can soak it all up. So it's almost sometimes better the next day.
Definitely.
Really good. The dressing is really good with avocado. I cannot believe I've never made a avocado dressing before.
It's so
Yeah.
bright. That's what I really love
Yeah.
about the raw salad. It's really bright. Love the citrus. And the warm kale and squash salad is comfort food. That really is something that you can just curl up and enjoy. It's nice and warm and really good flavors.
You can also make this warm kale salad with frozen kale if you
Oh.
prefer to buy it like that. If you don't have access to so much fresh produce or you don't want to buy all of it at once because you are unsure about it, you can buy frozen kale and prepare it just like you would normally in the pan
Wow.
for a nice kale salad. Yeah.
I don't even think I realized there was frozen kale, though obviously they have, frozen spinach chopped in different
Right.
varieties, leaf or chopped, yeah. So, that's a great tip. Really, I'm just thrilled you were able to join us today, so thank you.
We have fun
Yeah, thanks
every
for
time,
having us.
Kara.
Wow.
Thank you.
And I wanted to, just before we close, I know that we'll be working together on a few events coming up in over the course of the year in Melrose and Wakefield. So I'm thrilled to, Healthy Melrose is one of them. That's a big
Very
event
excited.
that, captures across the state and beyond families who come and visit the health and wellness fair that we have. And there's some local PTOs happening, runs and fundraisers in Wakefield. So we'll be working together and out in the community and hoping to run into some of our viewers, see how they found the recipes.
Yes, please
So,
try and say
yes.
hello to us.
Yes.
Yeah, if you have any more questions or just want to talk, come ask for Julia when you're at Whole Foods Melrose, and I'll be happy to talk with you.
Yes, and visit our websites, follow us on Twitter. We're out there, working with the community, so it's exciting stuff.
Yeah.
We're getting there. So thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.